Hello, good evening. I'm speaking right here from Lagos, Nigeria. Can I just say welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to everyone who is joining us today. I'm so excited to be here with you. My name is Victoria Ajayi, and it is my absolute pleasure and honor to be here with you at the Jump Accelerator Launchpad class of 2026. So now, before we proceed, I have a video for you. It's a very short video. So for example, I have my pen, I have my book. Trust me, you want to be taking notes for this one. Class is in session. Class is actually in session. So it's not a separate thing that's going to happen. We have started actually, right? And we're going to have a short video come up. Now, that video is very short, so I want you to pay close attention. If you have any distractions around you, please put it aside. You are here, so make the time count, because the time is going to go anyway. But make sure that you get what you actually came for.
The only reason that I am successful is I'm faster than everybody else. By the time they have thought about an idea, taken it to a meeting, and started to move, I have already made 3 mistakes and found a faster way.
Elon Musk is the same. If someone says something takes 8 months, he seems to just reject that idea. And from there, he'll figure out that in fact, it can get done in 8 days.
It's wild. In our companies, we implemented something called the 24-hour rule, which was this idea that if we want to win, we have to decrease our time between thinking about a thing and doing the thing. And so most people say, well, I'll get back to you on that next week, right? Hate that line. That is where dreams and money goes to die. Instead, I say, can you get it to me tomorrow? If all we do different than our competitors is they take a week to do things and we get it done in a day, I don't have to be richer, smarter, or better. I'm just faster.
Okay, all right. So thank you, everyone. Welcome back. Now, I want you to put in the chat for me, what was the one word that you heard? Or what was your takeout from that video? I want to see those of us who are paying attention. So it was a 44-second video, very short. And the title we gave it was The Secret to Wealth. So I want to see how many of us were able to pick what was shared in the video. So let me see. It could be one word, it could be 2 words that you heard.
Class of 2026. Can I see the energy in the room? Hey. In fact, if I tell you the kind of what can I call it? And I'm not trying to gaslight y'all. The prophetic word God gave me for this cohort. I said, okay, let's go. But it's really amazing to be here tonight. I particularly wanted to, maybe if you can say this, I wanted to do this panel myself because there's just so much to unpack, and I want you to look at things from different angles tonight. Don't just focus on your business. I know you're here for your business, and I'm really excited that you are here, but there's just a way that we structured this particular section that you're going to see things sort of multidimensionally. So most times when we come into a program, we come in with presets, we come in with a premeditated way of which we believe this is what we need, but there's just so much more that must be given to us. All right. So, and please, again, welcome with me, my panelists. Otonye, Tokbe, and Protection are here joining me in the studio. And I love this conversation. I know I'm going to love the conversation because it's so versatile, but I'll get to it real quick. I'm not sure if can we mute Protection real quick? Yeah, cool. So I want to start with Otonye. Hey, Otonye. Guys, I have to give her a massive shout out. Otonye is not just anybody. Please don't. Like what Victoria said earlier on. TSG Nigeria, Olawumi Feyi, nice to have you here. Deshewa, oh hi, Wine Press. How can I forget Wine Press people? Ayomi Kun Sophia, I'm sorry. How could I forget Wine Press? But we'll get into all of that stuff after, guys. Don't let me be distracted with this panel session. So back to Otonye. Interesting fun fact is Otonye was the first person I called. I was in a hotel room in Reading with my 2 boys jumping on the bed, playing and doing their stuff when I got the idea for Jump. And I knew that it was to help people who were afraid of being great. They were afraid of doing what God has put in them, afraid of looking stupid, right? And just like figuring it out. There's something that the world has, I want to say, labeled like, that struggle where before you blow, that middle that can be very messy.
The messy
People
middle.
are scared of that even before they launch. And I find that to be just amazing. I'm going to be sharing my failures tonight. And I called Otonye. I said, Otonye, I have this idea, and I the first person the Lord asked me to call was you. And she did oh, yeah. And I could hear the like, yeah, we got this, right? We've done this before. No, we haven't. And she had this like face, and I can never forget, But for me, I just want to say on behalf of every jumper that we have helped in this program and will continue to help until Jesus says stop, thank you for taking my call and for saying we can do this. Can we all appreciate Otonye in the
Oh my
chat
goodness.
Now, another fun fact is Otonye was the coordinator. She was also a genius. So in the Jump program, we have geniuses. Geniuses are specialized professionals in the areas of finance, customer journey experience, in sales and marketing. We have it for strategy. So these geniuses help our jumpers. And Otonye was one as well. And the third seat that she, for me, because those are 3 seats, right? She was a genius coordinator and the first caller. Because who you call when you have these God ideas matters, but we'll come into that later. Otonye, how are you? How you doing?
I'm good. I want to give a special shout out to Protection. Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, what in the world is this monstrous vision? Because when Obi, I know I was like, oh yeah, it's a good idea, but in my heart, I'm like, okay, how? Because one thing I work with people who have ideas, and one thing about ideas is that they open like a flower. So you're seeing the bud, but it opens up even more. So, and even when she was sharing the body vision, it was big. So I'm thinking this thing is going to get bigger than this. How am I going to? How are we going to do this? But so I was also jumping, to be honest.
Actually, right? I hear it 100%. So, because you sat in a unique position of genius, coordinator, my first call, let me move you to how it was being a genius, right? As Victoria said, you are super amazing at what you do with customer experience, and helping entrepreneurs identify what their customer journey must look like for them to really attain the level of strategy they have in place, right? Now, you oscillated between genius and coordinator. So you were seeing back end and front end. What for you was very interesting, the way people came with their ideas and what you were seeing when you were dealing with them on a one-to-one. You're like, you are not really who you think you are, which is not a problem. Not being who you think you are in the beginning is not a problem. So talk me through that realization for you that what you think is your business goal is not really. Tell us.
Yeah, to be honest, I think so it was quite funny, designing the experience and then working hand to hand with the people in the program. And like you said, who you think you are in your head. I think one of the things, so let me just backtrack a bit. Someone said something, the people who are the most capable often doubt themselves the most. So, if you when we get these ideas for our businesses, most of the time we run to doubting that we're able to do it. So one thing that I noticed, looking at because everybody filled the questionnaire, and so we could know what. And looking at the questionnaire and actually discussing, talking to people one to one, and trying to find out what they needed, I found that lack of belief was a blocker. and it was not allowing them properly assess where they were and determine what they needed to do. And it also went a step further to block them from actually doing the work, because there's also that bit, because by the time you lay it all out for them, and you're like,
they're like,
it's not me that you're talking to, so it was funny to see that play out.
I love that. Tokwe, let me come to you, because your story, I was still thinking about it today, how much of an inspiration it is for me, and maybe because I know your journey a bit. But you came into Jump to build something, not realizing that God was actually building you. When did you first get a sense that it's as if this assignment is changing? Because I know a lot of people are going to come in. God is going to shift them along the way, because he was really building them, not the business. When did things shift for you?
I think it was first of all, before I go in, thank you, Olori, for having me here. I appreciate it.
Hi. Is it me or she's frozen? I think she's frozen, right? Okay, so I'll just go quickly to Protection, right? Hey, Protection, how are you? I don't know if you've been able to. How are you?
Hello, ma. Good evening.
How are you doing?
Can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you perfect.
I can't hear you anymore.
Oh dear.
Yes, I can hear you now, ma.
Okay, so I was saying hi. Thank you for coming today. I know that you were in cohort 1, and a lot of the things that the jumpers on the call and in this cohort are going to experience, you've been through it firsthand, right? You've gone into the program and you came out alive and doing very well. When you were about to start, and I want you to, in like a few minutes, be able to tell people where you are today versus the woman who came into Jump, right? Did you see yourself ending up where you are today? This is like a year and a month after, something like that, right? When we started cohort 1.
Yes.
Did you see yourself where you are today a year ago?
Not at all. When I started Jump program last year in June, I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. The initial plan was to relaunch my business, but by the time I got engaged with the geniuses, I saw that it was a great platform for me to start my lifelong dream of getting into real estate. And today, from starting with zero knowledge of an industry that is kind of like highly priced and valued in Nigeria, to being one of like the top leaders now in just a space of 1 year, and I never saw that coming. I never saw that coming. In just a space of 1 year, and I never saw that coming. I never saw that.
I'm sorry. That is just amazing. When I tell you her story inspired me, I think it was the first time she got her CAC document, when you put the company together, because there's some people on the call and in this program today, you will start from scratch. I remember the first milestone, because I think you were updating me. Anytime you saw me, you'd be like, oh, we've done our CAC. Next minute, you're like, oh, we finished our session with our sales and marketing genius. Next minute, you tell me, oh, we got our first client. I'll never forget at the retreats that we held in Nigeria, you were like, oh, that you had your first client. I couldn't believe, but it was just so surreal, because I know you started from scratch. Now, let me just ask you this question. When did you stop saying to yourself, I don't think I can do this, to now earning millions and millions? Like, when was the switch? Was it when you had registered the company? Or maybe when somebody actually offered you something, you're like, this is too good. When was the first point for you?
Okay, when I registered for Paul Post section in particular, beyond the sales and marketing strategies that he gave us, he worked on our minds, telling us that you see, whatever you put your mind to, you're going to achieve it, you're going to hit it. And so he did a lot of mind work, surgical work for us, and he pushed us to, myself specifically, pushed me into content creation, educational content creation for real estate investments. And so when people see my videos, they reach out to me. I need this property in this place at this amount. And I'm like, me? From where to where now? So yes, that section did a lot for me.
All right. So thank you for protection for explaining this. And it goes to show the importance of a coach. It goes to show the importance of a mentor. Somebody needs to guide you along a path you've never been. Isn't that just common sense? Anyway, let's have Tokwe. So I asked you about when this shift came. You came into Jump to Jump. You jumped because I know you did sessions with the strategy genius, and I don't know if you had another one. And then along the line, something shifted. Talk us through that.
Okay, I would say that I think the shift really started when I started noticing the shift when I started having my sessions with Mr. Tafa, especially, right? And one thing about Mr. Tafa, I'm hoping he'll probably be in this session as well, is that he doesn't let go of something when he sees something, right? And I believe that he started to poke and poke and poke and poke, and then I started to realize that, okay, I think I'm the bottleneck here, right? And I think admitting that was a lot, right? And I'm sure that a lot of people on this call will probably get to that point, and it's okay. I've been there, so please use myself as an example. That some people, like Obi said, you want to jump. Yes, you will jump, right? But as you go along the way, things will start to shift and things will start to change. And as we went along, right, I now had to take, a pause. I'm like, okay, what's going on exactly, right? And thankfully, Olori Research has been praying for you. So I'm sure those prayers will allow God to orchestrate your journey and your path, whether you like it or you don't like it, right? So far, you have decided to jump. Just know that you are in here with a covenant that you may not be aware of, but just know that once that thing comes, like, I'm sorry, there's nothing you're going to do about it, right? So
You
I
can't be
started to
letting
see.
them in too early into our secrets, But that's not why I
So
brought
that
you. You have to,
Okay,
it's a
okay,
soft
okay.
landing, soft
All right, all
takeoff.
right, all right, all right. All right, no problem, no problem. So, and then after a while, I just figured that, you know what, there's something here that I need to really pay attention to, and then that's why I started to see that, okay, we need to take a pause here, right? And I'm still currently on the journey, right? I'm not exactly sure where this is taking me to, but it's taking me somewhere. that
Okay.
that I know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do. And you're right, because when you are a kingdom entrepreneur, the rules are different for you. Everything about your business is 100% different to the world. However, even in the parts where you want to go mainstream, you want to do things to fit into mainstream markets because there's no such thing as believers markets. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as believers supply and demand. No, the market economics are the same. It's your execution, your mindset that actually determines a different outcome to the world system. So I say to people who are kingdom entrepreneurs, please, the rules to you do not apply when this and this and this and this is happening. And we'll come into all of those conversations as the program goes along. Otoni, I want to ask you something from the customer experience side of things, which is when you were dealing with the jumpers who came to you for their own, customer experience blueprint, what was the difference between those who kept saying, I'm getting ready, I'm coming, and those who actually jumped? What did you see as a major difference between those two categories of people?
All right, thank you. So I love what Topic said. She said at some point she found out that she was the blocker. So the
Right.
difference was really it's really in the belief that I can do this, in the belief because one of the things I would employ, and I love that this is a king. We're talking about the kingdom here because I was using, so sometimes God will actually show me things about the people that I was working with, and I'll bring it
Wow.
to them, and they'll be like, "No, it's not me. Oh, it's not me. It's too big." And then as we're talking, they'll be like, "Actually, I actually had this as part of it."
Yeah.
So I find that if I could pick one thing, it would be that belief that I can be this
Yeah.
person that
Yeah.
executes, that has this result. So that was my own what I noticed.
So you're saying to the jumpers listening that don't be the blocker of your own business, right?
Yeah, don't be part of it. Don't be your village people. Just get out of your own way. And I just want to add this, that if you have, my coach says this a lot. If you have received the idea, you are resourced for it.
That's
God did
right.
not, he didn't
100%.
misread. It came to you.
100%.
You can,
Yeah.
you can do the work. Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, and that's what I'm going to be teaching. And interestingly, Otonya, don't get into the notes, okay? It's too early. It's too early. All right. So, Tokwe, there was something that I believe at some point this year, for example, because somebody might be listening and they're terrified that they're going to waste, that if God is going to yank me off the plan, so why should I stay? What message do you have for that person that will feel like, oh, so is everything I've done up until this time a waste?
Okay, I would say it's not a waste. I did learn a lot of things, right? I did learn a lot of things. I came into the jump program while I was about to, relaunch a part of my business that I had done before, but I'd had a baby a year after, and so I just wanted to just, kickstart it. So, going through the sessions, going through everything, right? There were some things that I thought I knew.
Yeah.
The evidence that you know something is that it is applicable in your life and you can see the results, but you can just know
Mhm.
something off of the top of your head and you're not making it practical in your life, right? I think one of the genius sessions that blew me off was I think it was the profit one about cash flow, about cash
Mhm.
runway. I said, what have I been doing with my business? Like I've been,
You
also it's
mean
playing
on the
gamble. I've
program
been
itself, right? The one with the finance? Is it the one with finance? Oh, we've lost her again. Oh dear. Okay. Protection, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry
Okay,
about
Tope
the
is here.
network.
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were asking me a question. I said on the program, like, and during the course of the program,
Yeah,
right, there were
yeah.
lots of things that I learned that, I took with me, right? I had to do a lot of introspection. There were some things
Mhm.
I thought that I've been, I didn't actually know them. I didn't know them. So the knowledge I took from Jump is, I'm still using some of them till today. And sometimes I even go back to my notes. Before I even came on the session, I was just going back to my notes again to just check some things that I knew that were peculiar to me. So it's not that the fact here it's a wasted time. No, you're going to use it, right? I'm
Mm,
still using what I'm learning, and wherever it is that God is going to take me to, I'm going to use it because those things are things that I'm going to take forever with me, right? I
mhm.
particularly loved Otonya's session because there were some things I thought. I felt like, oh, I know customer journey now. We have been doing this
Yeah.
since we were in, with Olori on Wheels. We've been doing this for long, so we know how this thing goes. But then she started to ask like very specific questions that you would overlook. And I'm like, really? And when you actually look at when you do your assignments with other brands and other businesses, you actually see that these are the little things that they pay attention to that give them an edge and leverage in the market to get a big market share. And you're just there, scrambling over the little things that is left. And I'm like, okay, right? Even though I'm not, full on where I thought I would be today, but those things have not left me, and I don't think they will ever leave me, because there are things I have learned, I have taken, I've digested, and I'm walking through them, one by one. So yeah, I don't think it's a waste
I
of
love
time. You would use them, maybe not
Yeah.
now, maybe as you go along, but you definitely, it's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of
Yeah.
money. It's not a waste. I even think it's not the value of the jump program. It's not. I think it's just because it's kingdom. That's why it's at the price that it is. So yeah, let's just
Facts.
leave it that way.
Facts. Facts. There's no lie there at all. 100%. And I'm just going to ask for the three of you to please just share what you wish someone would have told you about jumping. So because I mean, I've shared how I jumped with the jump program, but just to somebody out there who's like, I failed before, I've done this before, I've done it over and I keep failing. Or to somebody who's like, I'm just afraid of leaving my comfort zone. I don't know how to just do it. Like some people, like Olori, And of course, we know that's a mindset and a very strong hold. But let me start with Otonye. What would you say to someone listening, a guy, someone in the Bahamas? We have people from different places, Zambia, Jamaica. What would you say to them?
It's just one message in my head, and I've said it a couple of times already.
Mm-hmm.
You are adequately resourced for your idea. You are. You
That's
are.
so good.
You are. Yeah, for the one who says, "Oh, I've done it before and I've failed," you're
Mm-hmm.
not the same person you were when you did it the past time. You've learned so much
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
You have a bank of experiences that you can pull
Yeah.
out from. So
Yeah.
you're even in a much better place than when you did. So
Mm-hmm.
you are adequately resourced. There are things that you will never know that you have inside until
Mm-hmm.
you jump. And it will be, at the risk of, let me not talk too long, but there's this deep frustration that you would continually feel until you jump. Nobody will
Yes.
know. People might be hailing you, oh, you're this, you're that. But inside, you know that there's a
Yes.
you that you've
Yes.
not seen, and there's something you are denying the
Good.
world. So free yourself. Free yourself. Just jump. Yeah.
Please put in the comment section, free myself, Olori Boye-Ajayi, free yourself, oh, be what God. Because I hope you guys know that I'm doing jump, but there are certain things I'm afraid to jump, and we'll get into it, right? But I hear it that I'm adequately resourced with everything I need for the idea. I'm going to show you how. So I'm so shocked and I'm so grateful that Otonya picked this, and that's why I love God and kingdom. Everything must align. When I show you, you would think she saw my notes, and I can promise you she did not. So thank you for that, Otonya. Tope, what is your message? Protection, I'm coming to you next for your message for someone who's listening today.
I think I'll just continue from my autonomous stuff. So I think mine will be jump. Just jump, because if you don't jump, you never know how high you can get to. You never know what the possibilities, right, that you can experience, right? And I think another thing I'll also say is, don't be scared of uncertainty and pivot, because sometimes those pivots are for your good. Sometimes those pivots are actually the key to the things that you are actually seeking for, right? So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It doesn't matter how uncertain or where you find yourself after you have jumped, actually, right? Just embrace it and just keep going. If you say to yourself that, you know what, I'm going to see this through to the end, right, and I'm willing to do the work and what is required for me to get to the other side, wherever it leads you, just trust me that it's going to lead you somewhere, right? And that place is going to lead you is the ultimate place that you were actually meant to be. So that's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. Drive how people come to find out about the program as well. So I just really want to say thank you both for coming, and let's keep jumping. Let's keep jumping. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand back to the host for today, my dearest Victoria. Over to you. Yeah. Let me just once again welcome everyone to class of 2026. It is my absolute delight to be your convener today. But our chief host, you know him. Come on, let's shout out to him and just say, I'm grateful I'm now jumping. Can you put that in the comment section? Just say, I'm grateful I am now jumping. I'm doing this, I'm going all in, and I'm not doing it alone. When we do kingdom businesses, guess who backs us up? The kingdom. That's one of the things that should free your mind anytime you're about to jump into an idea that was given to you by God. When I was reading your comments, and I am Dr. Olori Boye-Ajayi. Some of you just met me 2 days ago. Some of you just met me this month. Some of you just met me 2 years ago. Whatever it is, I am grateful you're here tonight. Now, I do want to kick us off because I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm really hoping that you can stop frying your plantain. I know you probably have your popcorn and your Coke. That's good. That would work. Yeah. But I need you to get out your pen and paper. I'm going to be saying some words that are life and spirit, not just words. God told me to tell this class of 2026 that today is your turning point in what He has put in your hands. He has never given me such a clear word about any program that has to do with business or entrepreneurship the way He did. He said to tell you the reason why I want you to establish this business is because I need more businesses for the wealth distribution and the wealth redistribution that's coming over the earth. He's saying to you, the business is for a time like this. It is appointed to come to life. Stop looking, stop waiting. God is in the neighborhood. Do I have people who know? We've been in my inner community, we've been saying it, that God is in the neighborhood. Y'all, don't make me dance. Don't make me dance. It's gonna be a good month. Did you hear our theme song? It's Great Man Tackets, by the way. It's not our song. Let me give him his flowers, him and Rotimi Keys. And we're going to be dancing at the end of this because you are going to know what to do with the business. Okay. I'm going to be sharing failures. I'm going to be sharing I'm not holding anything back because you know what? There's no need. There's no need. I tell people it's when you think you have something to hide that you now be lying to people, trying to cajole them. There's no need. There's no need. So we're going to come correct tonight. Can I do that with you guys? Can I see that we're going to be doing that tonight? And I'm hoping I can read. Y'all are going to distract me with your comments. So I'm going to stay away from the comment section so I can get into the zone of why we're here tonight. Now, on your screen is a quote by one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, an amazing man that helped me in my journey of re-engineering. If you are a business owner in Africa, do like this. Hey, you deserve an award. You deserve a bigger award if you are in West Africa. Can you see where I'm going? You now deserve a billboard if you are in Nigeria. I'm sorry, only Nigerians can understand what I'm saying. I'm not being biased. Doing business in Nigeria is a sport. What? I must say though, those in the UK, y'all have it a little bad as well with them taxes. What is going on? I was in a pub, I think in March. I wanted to have a Sunday grub and I wanted the whole Sunday roast. So I went into the pub somewhere in where was this? Southampton. By myself. I do these crazy things by myself, right? And it was such great food. The place was overflowing with people. But guess what? When I asked to see the chef or the owner, she came out and she was like, oh, thank you so much for your kind words. Because I was praising them. Everything was a hit. And she said, but we're about to pack up. I was like, why? She goes, we've been doing this for 17 years, but we can't cope anymore. We're about to drown. She said the taxes were drowning them out. Here's one of the mind shifts you will have to have as a kingdom entrepreneur. You must make the right judgment when there's turbulence with your business. Don't let me go get ahead of myself, y'all. Y'all are taking me there already. Don't let me get ahead of myself. Right. Now, I'm going to be sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see what I believe is going to be a transformational, it's going to be transformational for you. I'm 100% sure. What we're sure of is there is a need for more businesses like the one you're about to launch. I'm telling you this. You know it. I know it. It's why you're seated here, right? Jim Rohn says success, watch this, is a few simple disciplines practiced what? Every day. But he also says failure is simply a few errors in your what? Judgment that is repeated when? Every day. So it means that we don't arrive at success. We are successful every day or we're failing every day. It's why I never let people off the hook. Once I see you're repeating a pattern every day, I can tell that inevitably you're going to make something fail or something succeed. All right. Just let me know if we're good. We good? All right. I've told y'all to send prayers. Clearly, you are not the prayer warriors for these cohorts. My cohorts before, they were prayer warriors. No technology is going to get in the way of what we're doing tonight. Yes. All right. Now, this is what Jim says, but I want to go to something that I believe is going to help you all. And I know some of you expected, you thought I would show you an office. I did not have one on how I started. OBA, how did you start? This is how I started. This was me some almost 20 years ago in a dorm. No, it wasn't in my dorm. It was in a room. It was in a room. I was doing my master's or something like that. And this was me. This was me. I had an idea. I had a food business in uni. And that was actually how I paid for my master's, from the bed. So let's look at what life has been like. 12 businesses and millions of dollars later, what can I offer you from my wins and my losses? A lot. Somebody say a lot. A lot, right? And I think just for me to balance this out, if you are afraid of losses, then you are afraid of having experience. You hear me? If you don't want to look like you failed, then you're not also ready to have experience. They go hand in hand. Even when you're winning, it's an experience. If you are failing, it is also an experience, right? So I do have a lot to offer you. I do. And we're going to be going through this. As I said, it's a journey. So stay with me. You're going to be hearing some terminologies. I'm going to be shifting some existing ones in your mind into the right order so that you stop expecting your business of 1 year, 2 years to be working. We'll come to that also. So what kind of businesses have I done, right? Let's go through some of them. It's still the same me, but they are different industries, right? I had a fashion truck. Some of you, and if you remember, Tokpe said in her comments that this was how we started. The fashion truck. I would go all around Lagos. It was the first in West Africa. One thing I will say to you, though, is this. I am a pioneer by model. Do you understand? Some of you are not. And I don't want you to think that Olori just has, no, I am also a pioneer in the way God built me. So I'm not afraid of entering an industry for the first time. This was the first of its kind. This was the first of its kind, right? So one of the, and the reason why I'm not afraid to say that some of those businesses failed, and I'll tell you why they failed, by the way. None of the businesses I was in, none of them looked alike. but I learned skills from different ones. All they taught me was that between conception, the idea, let me take it again. Before you actually launch, right? The idea comes to you. There's what we call conception. We'll get to that as well. And then launch, right? I had the fashion truck. I had a lot of pop-ups. Some of you have done pop-ups, fashion pop-ups. I was a stylist on Tinsel. If you guys remember Tinsel, I don't know if it was before Gen Z's time, but I was a stylist on Tinsel. I loved what I did. Osas Igodaro, I think her name is, she was my core person then, I even still have some clients. This is 16 years on, who still think I'm a stylist. Do I look like a stylist, y'all? Don't gas me. Y'all don't gas me. All right. And then I had an Uber business. We had 6 cars on Uber, guys, 6 cars. This was one of the cars. This blue car, if you know my husband, you will know this blue car. He uses it in his, stories and examples and things like that. This blue car served us. In fact, I dare say it saved us as well. We had 6 cars on Uber. If you remember in 2010, Uber was if you don't have Uber business, are you even in this Nigeria, right? And you will see where some of these desires and these ideas were not really of God. It was just us following a trend. I'm coming. Remember, I told you, once you say you are a kingdom entrepreneur, and those are some of the hard choices you will have to make tonight. Am I a kingdom business owner, or I'm of the world? You've got to decide, because the rules are different when you're dealing with these two things, right? So we had the Uber business. It did well. If I'm being honest, it actually did well. And so did the fashion business. The fashion business really elevated my brand, because I met tons of people. When I tell you tons of people in Nigeria, in the UK, everywhere, right? Then I also did a bit of education. Some of you may not know this, but I have an educational brand for children and teens. Don't ask me questions, because I'm not going to tell you. I don't want y'all to know too much. But yeah, we launched that as well. That is doing great as well. Then, y'all, when we get to this part of the gist, this was one of the ventures that almost took me out. If there's anyone on this call, and there must be someone or 2 or 3, because I remember at the time when we launched, it's an event space. It was in prime of central London. It was an event space. We had an industrial kitchen. We put in so much money. This was the building called Manuka. Who remembers Manuka? Anybody remember Manuka? Let me know. Let me see the comments on that, because I'd really genuinely like to know who remembers Manuka. Where are we? Manuka. Oh my God. Okay, so the Manuka conversation is, yes, wait. The Manuka conversation, I'll come back to it. Please hold on. Y'all are gonna, I told you y'all would distract me. I knew it. So I'm just gonna stay here. Please give me a minute. Okay, great. 1 second. Okay, right. So, I have education. Then I started Airbnb. If you look very closely, you guys will see the tall tower. That was in Canary Wharf. My husband and I, between us, we had 12 Airbnbs. We have some in Birmingham. We still have them. We have some we closed down, and I'm going to lay it out tonight, So we had London, we had Birmingham, there was one more place, I can't remember. But typically what we don't do is enter these businesses and want to manage them. We have a lot of managers all around the world, like a lot of Indians as well manage stuff for us. So this is one as well. Let me see. Right. So tonight, what is the emphasis? And this is what I want you to sleep on tonight and go into the week with, and the month and the rest of 2026 until you launch this business, which you can in 72 hours. I'm telling you, you can do it in 72 hours. That is our motto with Jump, that you can launch your businesses. In fact, now with AI, you can launch in a day. Anybody agree? You literally can you can launch your business in a day. I had something I launched in 4 hours. 4. I already had it in my head, right? Now, tonight I'm going to leave you with just 2 things. Only 2. I don't want you to think too much because I want you to use them as anchors. Anchors. The first one, I'm sure, except you are a biology student, you may not know, but we're going to do small biology today. Okay? Somebody say, thank you, Lord. So the first one is what we call chromosomal mutation. Can we say that together? Chromosomal mutation. Don't worry, it's not biology as you know it. But this was the analogy. I mean, my mentor has been talking about this for like a month and a half, but I think the way God gave me the analogy I'm going to give you today, oh my God, it was too powerful. And that's why I said this cohort, there's something about your business ideas that the Lord really wants you to steward properly and not treat it, anyhow, or treat it with like, with levity. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the first anchor I want you to take tonight. Chromosomal mutation. The second one is judgment. Can we say that together? Judgment. Judgment. These 2 things are going to be the bedrock of our conversation tonight. So let's start. What we have come into the room to do. Sorry, just had to put that in. But I don't want us to start at the very beginning, okay? And the reason is because there is something, it's gone off. Has it gone off? Are you sure? Yes. Okay, because it's gone off on my end, so I can't really see anything. Okay. So let's start, but not from the very beginning. Now, I do want to say this, that half of my businesses failed because of what happened after the idea was launched. Okay? Now, I'm just going to quickly sort this out because I think I can't see the people on the other end, and it's just on me. That's fine. No, don't worry. I'm good in about a few seconds. Just give me a minute.
The Lord is my shepherd. Read it again and again. I have everything I need. When the children's school fees is due, or you need to pay for a project, how many times do you go to God and say, God, I don't need a thing because you are my shepherd? There's something that will break out. If he comes late, he will come late to man, not to what he wants to do in my life. I just know the integrity of who God is and that he...
Okay. So, as I said, I don't want to start from the very beginning. Half of my businesses failed because of what I'm about to teach you. And it was not always about the idea being bad. Actually, some of them are very strong, and because there are still a lot of them that survived. But the ones that didn't survive, I will tell you what really happened. Sometimes I copied what was working for somebody else. Take note, because you will call yourself to order this night and know where you have you've gone left. You have to know. You have to know, right? Sometimes I removed something essential that was in the original design or the original blueprint that God gave me. I removed something essential. I allowed one brand consultant, one strategy person to come and remove something I know in my heart. This was a big part. I didn't say everything. Essential. I allowed it to be removed. The third reason is sometimes I did the right things, but in the wrong order. Anybody been there before? Where you did something right, but it was in the wrong order. What do you think was going to happen? Of course, it's going to fail. It is going to fail, you know. And then the fourth thing I did was sometimes I took a good idea into the wrong market, partnership, or season. Woo! Let me say it again. Let me say that again. That sometimes I took a very good idea, and this is for somebody listening to me as a warning, a precaution. Your idea is good, but the partnership you are about to go into will kill the idea. Don't do it. Because then you will go to God and say, but God, you told me about the idea. The first thing he's going to tell you is, did I tell you to do it with them? Did I tell you to do it with them? Everything that glitters is not what? Gold. I celebrate you. Right? For some of you, it's a good idea, but it's not the right season. It's not the right season. The urgency you feel in your spirit, why don't you steward that into building it out a little bit more infrastructurally, architecturally? You know, build the models that will sustain the idea when it is time to launch. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, the failure did not always happen at the beginning. Sometimes the mutation happened as I developed the idea. What I'm trying to say to you is this: don't let your idea enter any form of mutation. And this is where it gets interesting, guys, honestly. As I mentioned, every company starts somewhere that nobody is going to applaud. They're not going to applaud. It can be your small kitchen. Some of you, your food business, it started there. My food business in school, I don't even think that was on my list. I just showed you guys some of the businesses, right? And for those who want to know what I do now, I'm in the trade and investment space. That is my day job. But of course, I have several other open tabs and businesses that we concurrently run as a family and our family trust. That's another conversation for another day, right? But people don't applaud you in the beginning. And I don't think that's even something you need to worry about, right? Some of you, you are starting on your laptop, your tiny room. It's okay. Before the revenue comes, before the customers come, there is always the idea. Don't forget, the idea comes first. Now, what does it actually look like, this idea? And I don't want you to belittle what you're about to. You're oh man. This analogy blew me away. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me stop talking. Every business starts like this. Every business, invincible. The idea you have, see, the day you launch, maybe just 3 people would know. It's okay. That's how it starts. Don't give yourself headache. You called one big, you say it's your launch. You did an opening. You called people. You sent broadcast message. You sent your family and friends one beautiful flyer that you used, $45 to create, and then another $200 to put decoration, another $1,000 to do ads, and only 10 people showed up. It's okay. In the beginning, there was a void. Somebody say glory. Void and darkness fit everywhere. And then God said, let there be what? Light. Look at that. What a beauty. But first, be okay with your idea being invincible. The baby that you are carrying, this, And I'm going to be using the pregnancy analogy for you because that's really where we're going. You have to understand that this baby is still fragile. That you launched the business does not mean it will stand in 10 years. That you had a fantastic opening does not even guarantee the next 1 year. Let me be real with you. I saw so many businesses launch last year. They are no more today. Don't be fooled by those metrics that you saw online. Oh, wow, it was such a great turnout. Is a great turnout the same as a business? Are you joking? I've done launches for days. I've done launches for, I can't even count how many launches. I don't get moved by it. Who came, who didn't come, right? I don't also want you to allow this one. One of the biggest things I've seen with ideas in the beginning is that they are typically misunderstood. You are the problem. You are the one that carried your idea. You told your friends. You did. You said, guys, I want to tell you something about my idea. God gave me. You thought that telling them God gave you was your leverage. In their mind, they're like, she has come again. He has come again. So they gave you a blank stare when you told them about the idea. Hey, those of us that have husband, you now told your husband, babe, this is the one. This is the idea. Oh, yeah. God gave, after 7 days fasting. This is it. Lord, he spoke. You now open your journal. You are filled with zeal and fire. And then the Holy Ghost is looking at you that you see now the problem. He has carried the vision to somebody that they were not in the conversation. They were not even in the whole thing. You are the reason, no. I know some of you, you've tried to convince your spouse, but it did not work. It did not work because what you are carrying is still fragile. Say, my idea is still fragile. Look at this embryo. You can't even call this a child, a baby yet. It's still an embryo. It's still in that form. Fragile. But guess what? It is alive. No matter what your metrics look like at the beginning, your idea is still what? It's still alive. I'm begging you, jumpers, I want you to note this. Look at your screen. Inside this embryo, can you see why I said that? Otonye took the words right out of my pages. Inside this embryo that you're looking at on your screen is everything it will become. God does not create randomly. Jumpers, let me say this to you. God does not create randomly. He codes. If there are any software developers in the room, you will understand where I'm going tonight. Remember, I talked about chromosomal mutation and what? Judgment. Oh, there's something on this. Inside every embryo is the information that determines what it will become. In the same way, every God-given idea carries coded purpose. It carries coded purpose. Who it's for, what problem it will solve, what it is meant to produce. It is within the idea. If you have not received this much clarity, then you have not done something I'd like to call receiving all your prints. How many of you have received, you've been in a meeting and they were saying stuff like, oh my God, pray for the blueprints, pray for the blueprints. You too, you carried your head, you were swimming. Oh, Father, I receive. And he gave you blueprints. You won't believe what the Lord said to me on a retreat. One day I had gone on a retreat by myself again. Clearly you can see I like doing my retreats alone. But shout out to the ones we do with y'all. I love you guys. Like, hello. Right? And I was just in a time of meditation. One evening, I was just strolling, and then he asked me a question. Out of the blue, when you're talking with the Lord, he comes with some random stuff. Right? It's random to me, but it's not random to him. And he said, what about the other prints? You received the blueprint, but what about the other prints? You've received the vision. What next? I wrote a book, right? And they're going to put it up. I wrote a book that tells you the day you receive the idea in the form of a blueprint is not the day you execute. If you have done that already, first of all, just go and say, Father, I'm sorry. I was too zealous. I'm really sorry. No, we have blueprints, we have white prints, we have black prints, we have red prints. If you're an architect in the house, you understand what I'm trying to say. We have as is prints. This is not the class for that. But you cannot be a visionary. God gave you an idea and you only ran with blueprint. You are going to come back and chop cane after. There are other steps that you prayerfully must extract from the idea. Oh, this is good. Because everything the idea needs to succeed is where? In the idea. Can you see now that the success of what you're about to launch is not external? It's not about, customers that are not responding to you. You, as the visionary, must ensure that you have seen that all your prints are now before you. Jumpers, please. I want you to build as the master builder wants you to. This business does not need to fail. What you're about to launch does not need to fail. I wrote here that if you alter the information within the embryo, the formation will change. That is where mutation begins, guys. The moment you change what God gave you, if you alter it by 1 degree knot, you are in trouble. Heaven can't back the idea that you sent yourself on. No matter how much mercy you ask for, it's not going to happen. Please, jumpers, if you're listening to me tonight, one of the things you'll see in the course you're about to go into over the next 3 days, and of course, it's not just for 3 days. Some people are more, they need more time. Totally fine. What we have just recommended is that it should take you about 3 days. There are only 6 to 7 modules. 6 to 7 modules. The 7th one will be the sessions you will watch with the geniuses. So you can learn from what Tokwe said and Protection said. You can, meet these geniuses. But jumpers, please don't casually redesign what you have not yet taken time to understand. Don't do it. You will give yourself heartbreak. You will spend all your family savings on what was just in a blueprint format, before black, before red. The red print talks about correction, the areas you have to correct if you have launched even a little bit. Because, in the, like, say, in all these incubators, why combination, why, please, what's that why incubator? It's gone off my head. Why combinator? Why combinator will tell you, like what you just watched, the video before, they'll say, go fast. That's not what I'm disputing. In the receiving of the idea, you should have received prints that allow you to go to market. And maybe I would do an extra class for this cohort, and I'll use one of our businesses as a case in point. You should go fast, but you go fast on certainty. You go fast knowing that, God said to go there quickly. Yes, but don't let me digress. So I want you to write this down. What has God already encoded in the idea I'm about to launch? Who it's for? Are you getting it? Who did he tell you it's for? What problem it must solve? What is it meant to produce? Because the dominion mandate is typically embedded in every idea, depending on the visionary. It's really dependent. But as far as God is concerned, you have to understand that he encodes dominion in, he doesn't even know how to do small in the first place. He doesn't even know how to do small. Now, if everything has been encoded into your idea, what could possibly go wrong? And here's where I'm going to get very practical. I'm going to tell you how some of our businesses failed, like toppled, wasted savings, wasted investments. And here's what happened. But first, let's look at something that is important. There are 4 main types of chromosomal mutations. Doctors in the house, are you feeling me? Can you see I this biology class, because I hate sciences, pure breed business students. In biology, mutation is development. In business, mutation changes destiny. Many ideas don't die because they were wrong. They die because the idea changed before it matured. Somebody say it will not be me, oh. It will not be you. Don't change what God gave you because they said this is how it is, who this, that. So let's look at these 4 types of mutation so that you don't do it. Just for your writing purposes, there is the duplication, there's the deletion, there's the inversion, and then there's the translocation. I've mastered it because I'm like, God, why didn't you show me this 11 years ago? I would not have done a lot of the nonsense that I did, but alas, some people will learn with our mistake. All right? This is just, you can take a screenshot, but this is not what you need just yet. Now let's go into the practice. Duplication. When we talk about a duplication type of mutation, this is when your idea becomes everyone else's idea. Can you see it? You copied language, you copied the offer, you saw their landing page, you said, oh, yeah, this is it. Hey, pricing, structure, trends without discernment. You didn't even discern, okay, is this the way we are going? Look, you can have a God idea and it will fail because of your execution. God could have planted that thing in your heart, but your execution was without discernment. You don't need a good idea. You need a God idea. We use discernment to run God ideas. Don't get it twisted. I missed out on that. I copied people's offer. They will say, Olori, no, do it like this. Don't let them go and duplicate another person's idea. We don't use, this sounds like a good idea in the kingdom. That's not how we run this show. Everything is discernment. Trends can inspire you, but they cannot carry you. They cannot carry the idea. For longevity, don't try it. Somebody say, I will not duplicate. Can you see where the chromosomal mutations are happening? Mutations. The idea will just change. You that God gave you blue and white. You went to brand manager. Brand manager said, no, the colors of everything happy is blue. Ask my team. If I say that thing is blue, it is going to be blue. Were you there with me when I got my blueprint, my white print, my black print? Were you there? See, I don't owe anybody explanation. Guess one of the things I love about God, he also won't give you something that will make you look like a sore thumb. Like the idea will not sit with people. 99% of my business ideas, people loved them. People loved them. So God also is not going to give you a crazy color code that you can't even understand. And another thing is this. If God gives you people to go and meet, to consult with them on your business idea, please go. That's also part of your prints. Who should you go to? Who should you not? Why are you going to your husband? Why are you going to your wife? Your best friend. Was your best friend in the meeting that you and God had? The picture you see on your screen is actually one of our Airbnbs. This one failed. Why? Because I allowed people to be telling me the offer we should do. They told me the pricing. The thing just discombobulated. We closed all our London Airbnbs. We've only maintained the ones outside London. Please, no duplication. Don't let them mutate your idea before you've even launched it. Okay. Somebody say, I'm learning. The second one is deletion. Deletion is when you remove the very thing that made the vision powerful. Somebody is saying, oh my God, I've done this over and over. Now, hear the beautiful thing. You started this idea with prayer. You prayed, God gave you. Some of you, it's a secret sauce. kind of thing. When I say secret sauce, like something that people didn't think about. You understand? Like how they can do this with this. Because this is how my brain works. God, every time he wants to channel an idea into my mind, he uses the things that excite me. I love change. I love things that, you know, it makes for people's lives to be easier or makes them a better person. So even my programs, the kind of programs I run in the TSG Training Institute, I got them by God giving it to me. I just told you how Jump came about. So here's another thing, sidebar conversation. God needs you to be intelligent so he can run intelligent ideas through you. God does not give stupid people intelligent stuff. He knows they'll waste it. Yeah, no. He's not going to give you. Deletion. So deletion is a type of chromosomal mutation that happens when you remove the very thing that makes that idea powerful. You started in prayer. Now you've ended up in your head. You are going to this person. You are going to that person without discernment, without instruction. You are just gallivanting this idea that it was so sacred, an embryo, so fragile. You are just exposing it, telling everybody, I'm pregnant with a vision. No. Is it not even cultural in Africa that we don't tell people about our vision, about our babies until 3 months, isn't it? Some people, you are seeing now in the last 1 year, people that were pregnant for 1 year, we didn't even know. You too be like that with your business idea. Yeah. Let's just one day see you on the news. You'll be like, what's Henry doing here? You'll be like, yeah. This is what the Lord is doing. Thanks. Be like that. Be discreet. Before they delete it, some of you, it was your research. You were so good at researching in the beginning. God took you into some technological advancement, business ideas, and all of a sudden you started with research, you ended up in prayer. And God is like, yeah, I want you to pray, but I need you to keep doing research. For some of you, it was a pricing methodology. He gave you that price. Oh, Wale. You can ask anybody on my team, at least in my office. They will tell you the way we come up with our pricing. Because Tope alluded to that when she was speaking. If we were to make this program the real price, we know we won't be able to go into what God told us to go into. I didn't need to talk to anybody beyond Otonye, and I don't even know who else I spoke to about Jump. You can ask my office. I just come up with things. I put it out because I don't need them to tell me what they think, except God says, go to your team and ask what they think. Are you seeing the kind of discernment and focus you need? So anyway, let's go. Right? So stick with your original conviction. God told you to not launch in Jamaica. He said launch in Barbados. You said, God, let me stay in my Jerusalem. That's what the scripture says. Because you can't control God in business that he has called you into. Please write that down somewhere. I can't control God in the business he has called me into. He is the one that tells you where to go. Okay? Let's move on because of time very quickly. The third one is inversion. This one pained me. That's the building. Can you see the building that's the building we owned. I think we were there for, I don't know how long we were there for. If anybody in my team is on this, and they were on that project with me, because I have teams for days on different projects in my life. But if you were there, please, you can put it in. I'm okay. And we spent, at least in terms of the revenue and everything, that were at least 100 and something thousand pounds went in. Inversion is when the ingredients are right, but the order is wrong. Please, let me tell you what I did that was particularly wrong. We got this asset before we established demand. There are some assets you are going to get. If you have not established demand before you go and buy assets, you want to buy new camera, you don't have customers that you are sure will book you. You now go and invest 20 million naira into a camera. You are not wise, because you are not what? You are not wise. And for some of these assets, they start counting. Those of you abroad, if you are in the UK, you know why this asset for us was just a money drainer. Because from the moment, I think they gave us moratorium of about 3 months. In 3 months, we were still struggling to generate demand. So the idea was good. God told us to go into real estate, commercial and residential, but this was not the way. Somebody gave me the assets. Oh, I wish I could bring somebody up to tell you the story about this particular mistake. Obed. Kobad. Obed. For my non-Yoruba speaking followers watching today, it means it was bad. It was real bad. Jesus had to come take the wheels. I remember I was on a trip that year and my blood pressure was like this because we were paying about 15,000 pounds in rent alone. No other overheads or salaries and all that. We paid 15,000 pounds every month on a new business. Can you see that? We were not wise. Yes. Investment before validation. Hey, please. We sank over 100K into that business. Of course, we don't have it anymore, but I have all the lessons, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. The next one is translocation. Translocation. Translocation is when something is moved into the wrong place. The idea was right, but the market was wrong. The partner is wrong. The platform is wrong, or your timing is wrong. Somebody say, I will not get it wrong. God help me, na that day, on top of not wanting to get this thing wrong. Jesus, help me, Lord. Yeah, it's God ideas are too precious. That's why I showed you that embryo. You don't have any business partnering anyhow. Going to any market that just, you read a report. In the reports, you saw that hey, guys, let me tell you. True life story. And okay, I'll get to it. I'll get to it because it's in my notes somewhere, right? So my question to you is this. How do you protect the pregnancy? Somebody say judgment. I cannot hear you. Say judgment. If you want to ensure this idea does not mutate, judgment protects what God gives you. That's the second concept I want you to go home with today. Visions can mutate. I've seen it happen many times. People come to me with beautiful plans, beautiful days. Before you know it, they are just going like this, like this, like this. They'll say it's evolving, it's pivoting. Well, that statement does not apply to you automatically as a kingdom entrepreneur. It is except the Lord shows you the pivots. But if you carry your leg and say, yeah, this is where my industry is going. Pioneers don't have that liberty. Visionaries don't have that liberty. You go where you are sent, and where you are sent may not be crowded. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. Where you are going may not be crowded. So, what is judgment? Some of you thought I meant decision making. No? This thing. When I learned it, you would drink water and be fine tonight. For the first time, you will sleep well. You'll be like, let me be calm. Powerful concept. Judgment changes everything in your life. Judgment changes everything. And let's go there. What is judgment? Get your pen and start writing. Judgment is the vaccine against this idea changing in your hands. Don't forget this, please. Don't what? Forget it. There is, and I must say this because it's important to say. I've seen a video that trended sometime between May and June. And the lady was saying how her board of directors was with AI. So she got Ibukun Awoshika. If you don't know Ibukun Awoshika, she's a visionary, a leader in both marketplace and in ministry. She's a massive inspiration for people all over the world, right? She had Dangote, the richest black man in Africa. Or is it the richest black man? He's in Africa, but whatever, right? She had like 5 people, and then she now said, oh, that she had, fed information into her AI system, and that they would advise her accordingly. Somebody say, I will not do that. Oh, yeah. You will not do that. AI is a tool, not your board of directors. AI is a what? For a kingdom entrepreneur. Please, what I'm talking about tonight is for kingdom entrepreneurs. You can't take this everywhere and win the argument. But I can win the argument when it comes to the things of the kingdom. AI is a what? It's a tool. It can draft, but it cannot discern. It can't discern anything. Oh. It cannot discern your market. It cannot discern the timing. It cannot discern the demographics, your economy. In fact, this is the one I was going to tell you guys. This one, my friends made the mistake. God gave them an idea. It was a snail farming business. True life story. True life story. It was a snail farming business, and actually, it's painful thinking about it a little bit. And they got the funds. They had to sell their property and all of that to raise the money. They got a license to be able to export to EU. The process was long. It was so like, it was heavy, but God gave them favor. That's even when they should have known that, this thing, we cannot treat it anyhow. God gave them favor. What took people a year, they got it in months. Everything was going until they went to get a report from an AI system. And then they built the structure for their farming with that report. Guess what? They got no harvest. And if you know how farming works, you need money to pump into it. Anybody done any farming business? Let me see your hand. Now I can go to the comment section. We are like 3/4 of the way. Okay, I don't know. Anybody done farming here? Any farmers? Let me see. I'm waiting for your comments. I'm in the comment section now. OBA, any tips on boldly executing the vision and deciding whether you should move now or wait a little longer? How do you avoid playing it safe out of fear? Good question. My in-law, I have an idea. Okay, now I'll answer that question later. Team, please make sure you are collating all these ideas for me. I need it so that I can answer as much as I can. Guys, it's Friday night here in Lagos. Okay, Chosen 8171 says he has done farming before. So you know how it works, right? It's not you can't even treat it anyhow. But your assignment or your constraints must be within the limit of your discernment. I can't say it more than that. But if you allow feelings, emotions, people to outweigh your judgments, you are not wise. Guys, you will have to build judgment. That's part of what you are going to need to launch this business, to scale it, to build it sustainably. You will need judgment. So let's define judgment. Are you ready? Let's write. What is judgment? What is judgment? Judgment is not, let me judge between A and B. No, that is a decision. And that comes after judgment has taken its place. Judgment is a process. Somebody say that with me. Say, judgment is a process. This ideology came from a professor from London Business School. I mean, he was an ex-dean at London Business School. He's a thought leader in judgment. Imagine someone being a thought leader on something called judgment. If you are like me and you love research, please go and get some more info about this. His name is Professor Andrew Leikermer. I assume he's German, right? Solid body of work. My goodness. And what Professor Andrew talks about is that unlike what people think, judgment is a process. It is not about, okay, no, let's go like this, or let's go like that. No, I wrote here that judgment is the combination, watch this, of personal qualities with relevant knowledge and experience to make decisions. Do you see now that decision is not the first thing, right? Or form opinions. Solid. I love that. So, Sir Andrew then developed a framework I want to introduce you to today. You will never be unwise again. Somebody say amen. You will not. Judgment is treated as a process that can be improved. I'm going to run now because of time. So I want you to use these 6 checks before you jump. Number 1, somebody say knowledge and experience. Critical, relevant knowledge. In fact, that's how he wrote it, because now my notes, I've changed them. It's relevant knowledge and experience. Because I hope you know you can have knowledge and experience in one business you did in the past and think that automatically you have experience in doing business. Yes, you have experience in doing business, but you don't have experience in the requirements of that new business you may be going into. But for someone like me now, if I'm going into the fashion value chain, I've been in that industry for a minute. I understand how it works. I've been in export a minute. Now, I may not have specific sector knowledge, but I definitely have industry knowledge. They are 2 separate things, right? Now, this is what Professor Andrew says, and I just think it is beautiful. He says that for your knowledge, number 1, do you know the business? Do you know the business? Right? And that was what happened with those my friends in snail farming. They got the idea from God, but they didn't know the industry. Because I don't see why you would base your guys, I'm saying they spent almost, at least, it must have been upward of, I don't want to exaggerate, because somebody even, it's such a mess now that I think about it. But you know, excitement. That's how people are with their ideas. Please don't be like that. Let me tell you how you are with your idea. It's like a love affair. You just got the idea. Those of you who are married, this will never leave your mind. Those of you who chase women and those of you who like to be chased, you also understand this analogy. When you first of all meet each other, what happens? You'll be seeing Ada, yo. She's in your dream. She's waking. As you're waking up, is how you're thinking about. The love is big like that in the beginning. It's not even in the beginning, in the beginning. You wake up with the idea, you can't sleep at 2 a.m. The idea has captured your heart. It has taken you to realms where you have seen thousands of people in an arena. God has told you you're going to be a coach. And people will be lining up for your tapes, your books. This thing will capture you. Guess what the idea is doing? Is intimating you. Some of you have an idea now. You are not sleeping because of an idea. Can you see there's problem? You are allowing this idea to love you in a way that is called dangerous in love. You know dangerous in love? You don't know dangerous in love. You are too Christian. I've seen situations that some people allow the idea to, you guys don't know how strong an idea is. You don't. Have you not seen people that went to sell their house because of an idea? Some people entered their family savings for an idea. They were sure it will work. God gave me. Yeah. When they come to me for advice, you can't advise people that are in love. I hope you know. Oh, they don't see road. You are the problem. If you try and tell them that you are the problem, don't even try. Ideas and you are like that. You have to learn and give yourself distance. Otherwise, it will consume you. Those of you that stay up till 4 a.m. talking to the guy, ask yourself, before he came, were you not normal? Now he's in your life. You can't breathe. You say, baby. Baby, oh. Please use this judgment. Use this. My head is always correct. I can't explain it more than that. One idea. Please ask yourself, Buki, is your head correct? Are you sure this idea has not want to frustrate you and all your money? Are you getting it? Just because it's a good idea does not mean that you do yourself anyhow with the idea. It will consume you. I'm telling you this free of charge. So, professor says, rather than letting it consume you, behold, let me give you 6 steps to be sure before you jump, your road is clear. He says, number 1, knowledge and experience. 2, awareness. Awareness. What do you notice? Trust is number 3. People. And it's interesting. You know what? I think what I'll do is I'll give a link to the 6-step framework, right? Number 4 is feeling. But don't think of feeling the way I just said it to, because he says it differently. He says feelings and beliefs. So powerful. So powerful. Right? And then you make a choice. And then you make a choice. When you make that choice, then you can deliver on your conviction. I remember there was a product we launched last year, and if any of my team members remember, the first day we went to launch, there were 13 of us in our booth. We didn't sit down once. I can't even tell you, for the love of my life, like, I was like, man, you just have to trust God when he tells you to do some things. Let me move. Time. So my question is this. Who do you go to when God gives you an idea? Is it your pastor, your mentor, your friend, your bestie, your spouse, AI, Google? You know Google. You know? Before you seek advice, please build judgment first. Before you go to anybody, build judgment. I've given you Professor's framework, and I really will share that with those who are on the program. That's a promise. I'll share the link. I'll share, he even has a course on it, guys. Like, I'm so doing it. Yeah. Because those are the kind of things that, even as a business leader, I was watching an interview with Coca-Cola's CEO, and he was talking about this same judgment thing. He didn't call it judgment, but that was what he was alluding to, that the business leaders who will lead people in the future must have good judgment. You must have good judgment, because even good advice can be misapplied when you have bad judgment, right? So I want to say this because it's super important. I've seen it happen. Smart people make terrible business. They make business decisions. Yes, sometimes. I've seen it. Smart people, they were smart, but they didn't use judgment at all. Now, intelligence is not the same as judgment. I have intelligent people all over my life. Very, very intelligent, but it is not the same. Judgment is the discipline that slows down brilliance long enough to make it profitable. I'll say that again. Judgment is the discipline that slows down brilliance long enough to make it profitable. Meaning that you ran and went to go and execute, that may not have been the right judgment. That may have not been the right judgment. The first thing that it will do for you to say, is this actually wise? Sleep on it. Sleep on it. You are going to need to shift from excitement. Like I told you, don't be like that lover that the idea is just taking your sleep, your money, when he's not a thief. Right? Now, and this is why I'm just always laughing. I've dealt with over 140. I still counted maybe last month when I did my own life review and contributions. At least 149,000, and I'm just being conservative, and I like to be, it's okay, have actually benefited from the work we do for entrepreneurs. But they ask the wrong questions. So when most founders come to me, they are thinking more like, do I like this idea? Am I passionate about it? Can I afford to start? Did God give it to me? Those are wrong questions, auntie, uncle. The questions you should be asking yourself that really matter is, who exactly is this for? 2, what painful problem am I solving? 3, why will they pay me? 4, what has to be true for this to work? 5, what could make this fail? And you realize that some of these questions is not external, it's all on you. Yeah. Some people are the reasons why their businesses will fail. It's not because the idea is bad. Yes. Quote me anywhere. So I want you to write this down. The quality of my judgment is often determined by the quality of the questions I ask before I act. I'll take it again. The quality of my judgment is determined by the quality of the questions I ask before I act. Excitement gives you moments, but it is questions that will give you the right direction that you should go into. Do you understand now? So, before you jump, please judge the business. Judge the business. Is the model that you are going to run actually going to really work? You have to be honest with yourself. The model is important. What business model are you using? How exactly does money enter the business? Who pays? How much? How often? And for what? There are some things that we are shifting our institution into over the next, I want to say, 7 months, that we know we have to change our business model. The model you may want to launch this idea with may not work. Long term, it won't work. It may have started and you may be seeing money, but that may not be the right business model. I was with some, because I'm a MasterCard Foundation mentor. I've been on the business idea track. I've been on the build and scale track. I've seen the difference with those founders. The ones that started well are the ones that understood their business model. Don't just start an idea because it's nice. What's nice? When your bank account is not nice, then you know. Right? Judge the market. Is the demand large enough for me to start? Are there enough customers who genuinely need this? You need to ask yourself these things. Number 3, is the market expanding? Is it growing year on year? Or is it going to shrink over the next 10 years? Let those things determine and help you. Take it back to God and say, Father, based on my research, I saw this. What do you propose? That's what I do. Once I see something that contradicts the idea, I take it back to God. Are you getting the point? You ask yourself, for the future, will this matter in 5 or 10 years? Or are you already entering something that will become obsolete? Now, this is where I believe strongly that you have to ensure when you jump with this idea, you must understand that delivery is the final judgment test. Can this actually work? Can it produce an outcome that people can touch? Because the fruit is not proof of something abstract. It's the proof of a tree, right? A good business is not brilliant because it sounds good, or it is brilliant because it actually works. Please don't forget this. All right? Don't forget this. Now, there are many things that I've noticed about myself before I jump into an idea. And AI, as I was saying earlier, it can't give you your business plan. I don't agree. I don't agree. And please, you are free to disagree with me, but I'm telling you from what I know, nah, it don't work like that. Let me see. I think I skipped a page. Okay. Now, most people see the awards, and I want to teach you how to build good judgment. Most people see the awards, they see, Olori was nominated as top 100 people of Black descendants, da 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 da. But I really think that when you see someone being awarded or applauded, it shows they have repeated something over and over again. Can you see the logic for me? You have to see the loop in my behavior for me to have been said to be good at that thing. So recognition usually arrives after repetition. And repetition is where judgment is formed. Have you done this thing long enough? Have you used that side of your brain long enough? Can you see what I'm trying to say? So people don't know that success has a guest list though. Trust me when I say this. Success has a guest list. It is process that does not, because most people don't want to be on that list. But success has guest list. You have to decide not to compare your incubation to somebody else's invitation. You are in incubation process. Remember the embryo? They are still fragile stage. Thank God you are in their life stage. You are seeing somebody's moment. Whenever you see them being celebrated, you're saying it's just a moment. You didn't see what made them like that. People don't know what it takes to be me. They don't. I know. Maybe my husband, right? But you won't even believe. The way I've been able to build my judgment over the years is through repetition. Build yours accordingly. Now, I do want to say this because if I don't, then I'm not really being kind to you. Success should deliver you. Let me say it this way. Success should deliver to you profit all round. I don't believe in the school of thought that says you have to give up something. Please, it's just my own. You can do it for a while, but if that is your perpetual state, no, it's not right. And my take on this is that some opportunities cost too much if they destroy your marriage, your family, your health, or your altar. Anything that's going to take you out of that, it's not worth it. This is my husband and I. We're going to be celebrating 16 years in a few months of marriage, right? And I think one of the ways I've been able to protect my marriage, my family, my children, is by carrying them along. I never try and build as if what I'm building is just for me. Who am me? Who am me? Right? Don't X your sisters, your brothers, your whole family just because you're building. You can decide to incubate, but you have to isolate properly. All right? Now, I have just a few more slides left. I think just a few. Yeah. Now, one of the interesting things that is something you would notice this when you finish the Jump program is that God wasn't just building my businesses. He was building me as well. He was building me. The carrier matters as much as what they carry. The carrier matters as much as what they carry. Some people, that's where you have to take it now. Do you understand? Just see that, okay, whatever happens, Lord, you are building me. You are building me. So this week, I don't want you to just consume your modules and all of that. Test the idea. Judge the model. Ask who will pay you. Why should they pay you? What proof do you have this will work? This course is not for information purposes. It's for formation purposes. Your idea will only be built in what heaven has already supplied in it. Now, jump, but don't jump blind. Somebody say, I won't jump blind. Protect the pregnancy from chromosomal what? Mutation. Build your judgment. Deliver the vision. That is why we are all here together. Right? Now, everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. Everything you admire, it once looked like that embryo. That baby that you say, oh, so cute, was an ugly baby, an embryo, right? Don't despise your incubation because it doesn't look like it's going to be influential. Not lie. You will be influential. That idea may not be the one that makes you influential. Do you see the difference? You, as the visionary, you will be influential. But the idea you are carrying may not be the one that makes you influential. And that's okay. Don't be attached to any idea. That's why I can do so many things, because they don't define OBA. I define them. Do you see? If anything fails, it failed. I can't fail. I carry God. Are you a joker? No. So please don't misjudge your business at the stage it is at. If your business is 4 years old and you have a child, I want you to remember what your children were doing at 4 years old. If you're about to relaunch your idea today with this program, I want you to remember these things I've said. Because the Lord told me for one or two of you, you're like, I failed before, but God says to tell you this time, I'm going to show you exactly how. I don't know if they've showed the book already, but get the book. It's literally it's the same amount as, what can I say? It is the same amount as, that is universal. Maybe a meal, even less than a meal, right? Depending on which part of the world you're in. An embryo is not a failure because it cannot walk. It is simply at the right stage. If you're invincible for now, nobody knows your brand. It's okay. You just keep building. Time. Scripture tells us time and what? Chance. As I conclude tonight, God is not just building this business and this idea with you, through you, for humanity. He's building you. And as you're about to jump, remember this: your capacity, your conviction, your stewardship, all of this, he's forming your judgment. He wants you to be, at this stage of your life, he wants you to be wiser than in 10 years' time. Not that you are feeling depleted, that God, it didn't work, everything I done, you can't be complaining like that. You don't have the bandwidth and the time for that. Sometimes this closed door is actually the way God has protected you. So I ask you, as you go into this execution, protect what God has made inside of you. Let this vision not be ordinary because you are looking at it that it's too small. Yeah, it's an embryo. Yeah, it's still early stage, okay? Vision is not ordinary because the stage is early. And protect the person carrying the vision too. I didn't add this to the cohort last year. This part was not evident to me, but God told me clearly, tell them they that are the carriers are who I'm also building, not just the business. You cannot destroy the carrier and expect the vision to survive. Never. So I close with this. This is why Jump exists. Not just to excite you, but to help you move from idea to execution, from excitement to evidence, from pregnancy to the proof of what God has put on your inside, and from inspiration to something that people can use, buy, and trust. I will see you in class over the next few days. I thank you all for staying the course.